All right, well, the situation in the Strait of Hormuz continues to remain uncertain, with mixed signals coming from Iran and adding to global confusion. While there are indications of a temporary opening of the strait following a fragile ceasefire, reports of restrictions and controlled movement of ships are still emerging, making shipping companies cautious. In a significant development, Iran has released a new map for a safe transit through the strait, laying out designated routes that vessels must follow to avoid mines. This could effectively mean that free navigation through one of the world's busiest energy corridors is no longer guaranteed, and movement is now conditional and closely monitored even as diplomatic efforts continue. Global shipping traffic through the strait remains below normal levels, with disruptions to energy supply still a major concern, with the Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri in Qatar and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar visiting UAE. India is stepping up its oil diplomacy. As a country heavily dependent on imports through the Strait of Hormuz, India's approach reflects a calibrated strategy of diplomatic engagement and active ship diplomacy for now. The Strait of Hormuz is neither fully open nor completely closed, but operating under a tightly controlled and evolving security framework. Let's in fact talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the platform at this point in time is Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, former diplomat, Karori Singh, Foreign Affairs expert, Major General Sudhakarji, Senior Geopolitical and Strategic Defense expert, and Captain Shyam Kumar, former Navy officer, joining us on the broadcast as well. Captain Shyam Kumar, I'll begin with you, sir. I hope you can hear me. So how difficult or easy is the situation as per you, looking at the fact that Iran is using mines and weaponry and still creating this very volatile situation in the Strait of Hormuz? How dangerous is it, despite the fact that we are in a state of ceasefire, sir?
Thank you, Uday. Jai Hind, Shanovarana. If you recall, and many other channels would, in your channel also, when I showed this long back, and I tried to speak from almost 7th and 8th of March that the war is not of only Iran invasion or insertion. The actual war is strategically planned for Strait of Hormuz, for which America did lot of practice, lot of planning, lot of organizational reform, and the Naval Officer Admiral Brad Cooper was brought as assistant commander for certain things. And when I said 2 days back in a channel that this is another way that America has actually taken charge of Iran, annihilation was one part and this was second part. Now what is happening here is the same thing I'm going to show you again. If you can just screening this. This is the Hormuz which is mine, and this is the Toltecs roadmap which he has shown, which is going close to Kasham and Ladakh Island, on which IRGC is charging toll tax. So when we know, the moment America started the war, he knew that Iran will do two things. He will attack on GCC countries, and he did not remove his force, he did not remove anything. Some naval assets and some strategic assets were removed to Jordan and other areas. Rest only kept there to lure Iran to attack the Gulf countries, and he remained a good boy. And secondly, he knew that this will be closed and Iran will do his best. Economic leverage, and that's what Iran did. And now he's caught. Now, who is going to accept this? This is a new situation which last 20 days I am trying to again and again point out to the people that we don't realize that this is not the war of Iran and Israel militarily. It is a different war. When Trump says we are going to gift, I had said this in your channel, that he's going to gift this channel to this Strait of Hormuz to Middle East. And UAE, Saudi Arabia, etc. are going to be taking charge of it functionally. There was a joint control between America and Iran. That was all jhasa. It did not work. It would have never worked. Now, what is the legal position? Legal position is very clear. State of natural states. In case of peace, freedom of navigation to all ships. In case of war, belligerent countries will be attacked. Neutral shipping should not be attacked. So why this against the law? Even it is in territorial water, it has got no meaning. Secondly, European Union and NATO. Who says they will not come? Yesterday also when I said this, people didn't believe me. All the European Union countries, all of them will come. In any case, 47 members task, CTG 153 was created by America 3 years back. He has done so many exercises in this area. He's taken entire Middle East into control and carried out maritime engagements. For this day, this was a major plan from 21 to 25. Lot of things have happened. I have got a lot to say. This is a leverage on which now America is going to play. And nobody will like it that you play toll tax. India has refused it. United Union forces will repeat Operation Prosperity Guardian, which was done during 2023-24 against Houthis. All forces will come because everybody is affected. And he already told you 20 days back, please come and take oil, please remove the mines. 600 mines have been removed by American forces so far. As per the report, 6,000 mines have been kept here and there. And remember Operation Ernest Will on 14th April 1988, when a Kuwaiti tanker was escorted by American warship USS Robert, and it hit the mine, got completely damaged. America started Operation Praying Mantis on 14th April 1988 and annihilated entire naval fleet of Iran, and then the Iran-Iraq war stopped. We are going to see all this now. It's a major jhasa, major problems going to happen now. People have to watch it. This is what I have to say, and this is my continuous view from last 25 days. It's continuously going on. There are a lot of things going to happen on these Gulf waters, and the salty water of Gulf need to be sweetened by some permanent means. Unless it happens, America is not going to say no to the war, whether it is slow war, whether it is flames or fire. There will be some troubles in this area. Over to you then.
Okay. Let me also rope in General Sudhakarji. General Sudhakarji, just for clarity's sake, this is Vineet, not Uday.
Sorry.
No problem, sir. It's all right. We do sound alike sometimes. General Sudhakarji, what are you making of the kind of restricted ceasefire ecosystem that Iran is trying to create? Does that tell you something, sir? That they're not walking out of this war, they're not walking out of this situation as a party that's been defeated. These are this is perhaps an attitude of a victor. Would you concur, sir?
Absolutely. Uday, I tend to agree with what Captain
So it's Vineet,
Shyam-
not Uday. Just corrected you. It's Vineet, sir, not Uday. I just corrected you.
Oh, Vinit, okay. Did I address you as Uday? I'm sorry. I thought I'm speaking for the first
That's
time.
okay, sir. As long as you don't address Iran as Iraq, I'm fine with it.
Okay, I'm sorry, sincere apologies, Vinit, and thank you.
We can't see on the screen actually.
You can't see me.
Go on, sir.
No,
Please,
sir, I
sir.
can't
Please
see the
respond.
anchor.
Please respond, sir.
Okay, so quick response is that USA is caught in a bind between restraint and escalation. While I agree with Captain Sham, whatever he has said, they may have had a plan, but it did not seem so. To me, as an independent observer and a geopolitical analyst, it appeared that American forces had been mobilized without any concept, without any doctrine, without any plan. I do agree. I have heard him a number of times articulating the same point, because sidestepping resources from Caribbean waters to Mediterranean and from Guam Island in just about 7 to 10 days time for participating in a war. It spoke of, walking into a conflict zone in a jiffy. This is not how you participate in a war. War is a very serious business. To me, 38 years of service in the Indian Army gives me adequate logic and counter arguments to suggest that Donald Trump did not have a plan. He did not listen to his advisors. Even if he had a plan, he did not take the stakeholders, consult people concerned, did not take the congressional approval. It is mandatory as far as the USA Constitution is concerned. People do counter argue that he need not take the approval of the Congress. He can come back after 60 days and take the approval. So be it. If this is how the Constitution of America has to be approved or applied on ground, well, I have nothing to say. With the limited study and understanding that I have attained till now, it is paramount. People do counter argue that the previous presidents have also gone in for the conflicts and war and have come back. That there are many other issues which you can actually dwell on. But the fact of the matter is he's caught in an escalation entrapment. When I say escalation entrapment, what it means is every escalation he generates or triggers, that takes him to an entrapment of no return. as per the domestic constituency and the pressure which he's experiencing now, there are endeavor by him and his by team looking around for a dignified and honorable exit. He wants to turn back and get back to America at the earliest, at least for the sake of domestic constituency. Why, I'll tell you if you have time. Otherwise, I'll come back for the show in the second round with it. Very briefly, the Democrat who were the oppositions, they had been broken up into two parts. Absolutely, there was a prominent fracture in the Democrats. Because of the ongoing conflict, they have come together. They pose a huge challenge. Number two, in past 24 hours, there is a thing called as Article 25, which I did not have time to study, but I am given to understand Article 25 relates to impeachment of the president, wherein the Republicans themselves have started going against the president. Because neither the conflict or the war in Iran is giving any payoff or dividend, which has got immediate positive impact for the growth story to make America great again, nor is it giving any kind of benefit to Donald Trump himself. But there is a hidden agenda. Hidden agenda is Donald Trump, whether you agree or not, is trying to push back China, push back the petro-yuan, the progress they have made till now, and waiting for American oil companies to come into Middle East, go capture or occupy the oil fields and start carrying out transactions in petrodollar, thereby restoring the diminishing or the declining status and the profile of the petrodollar in order to restore its dominance in the world order. Back to you, Vinit.
All right, fair enough. That's an important analysis that you have put forth, sir. Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, what is the guarantee that the Americans are saying they're retreating? What is the guarantee that the 10 points that have been in fact given to Iran, they're going to follow through with that? There have been precedents in the past where Iran has signed agreements but have not followed through. Some of them were signed with President Obama, if you remember, which talked about nuclear proliferation, but that never, in fact, was adhered by Iran. What is the guarantee that they'll do it this time?
Good evening, Vineet, and good evening to all the co-panelists. Vineet, first of all, there's absolutely, I would say complete confusion about the 10 points. Because the 10 points which the Iranian authorities have circulated through their embassies are quite different than what US claims. You must have seen Caroline Leavitt's a detailed explanation on that. She clearly said that these 10 points are basically misleading. These were rejected, these were thrown in the garbage, and then they submitted a revised draft of 10 points, and that is what President thought could be the basis for discussion. So we don't know what the revised 10 points are. The points which are circulated by the Iranian embassies everywhere, including in Delhi, are not the one which US claims are the correct one. And if these points are correct, then I think it is a disaster for US, because these points allow Iran to continue with enrichment. They allow Iran to control the Strait of Hormuz. They also tell US that they should leave the region. And there are many more conditions which are absolutely unfavorable to US. I don't know why the war was started if these conditions are to be met. In fact, the US was better off without the war if these conditions are to be met now. So far as the Strait of Hormuz is concerned, now it is the first time, to my knowledge, in the history of the world that this Hormuz has been weaponized. And now they are thinking of charging a toll tax on all the vehicles passing through this, or all the ships passing through this Hormuz. Now that would be a really new precedent. It will not only affect this particular passage, but there are so many straits in the world where the similar trend could prevail. And then all those strait owners or the neighboring countries will try to enforce that kind of toll tax on all the shipping lines in that area. I think that would be a very wrong precedent. This will also go against the UNCLOS, United Nations Law on the Sea, and the free passage. Even if it is in the territorial water of a country, the free passage has to be allowed to the shipping lines. So that is a very, very important aspect. I think European Union has also rejected it, though they don't agree with Trump fully. But on this issue, they have very clearly said that this precedent cannot be accepted and will not be accepted. So that is on the Strait of Hormuz. Obviously, now Iran will somehow try to control it one way or the other. They will now they already issued a map where they're showing that some part of the Hormuz is mined and ships should avoid that area. Obviously, that is designed to manipulate the entire process. So far as the war itself is concerned, to me it appears that of course the talks may be held tomorrow and day after in Islamabad, but there is total confusion what will be the agenda for discussion. If those 10 points are not the agenda, then what are the other 10 points which will form the agenda for discussion, and whether the 15-point plan presented by US will that form the agenda? So that will become clear only after day after and day after, once some preliminary talks happen. But I foresee that Iran is not going to accept these restrictions. Iranian foreign minister has already clarified that they will have right to enrichment and they are not going to abandon that. They also claim that civilian nuclear facility is allowed under NPT, even as signatory to NPT, they are entitled to that. I think the Russians and Chinese also support that position, and they have used that kind of argument in the UN Security Council as well. So, in case Trump insists that no enrichment is allowed and no, enriched uranium should stay with China, with Iran, then obviously there would be total logjam. There would be no further movement because that is the basic point. Now, Lebanon is another point where there's a lot of dispute because Vice President Vance very clearly said that it was not agreed that Lebanon will be part of the ceasefire. Now, President has also confirmed that, Caroline Levitt has also confirmed that. So I don't know whether that will become a stumbling block, because Iranians have very clearly said that Lebanon is a part of the ceasefire, and if it is not so observed, it is a violation, and then there would be no point in proceeding with the talks further.
Okay.
So the things are in a complete flux as of now. I think some clarity will emerge in the coming days, but the situation remains very uncertain, and we are going to navigate through very, very rough waters in the coming days, and the markets will be volatile. Energy crisis in India will continue to increase in a way because the prices have gone up, supplies have come down, and in some parts, particularly LNG, will have a lot of problem. And some
Okay,
of
all
our
right, sir.
industries are also getting impacted
All right, sir.
because of
All right,
the
sir.
supply chain.
Let me also bring in Mr. Karori Singh into this conversation. Mr. Singh, is this also been made clear to the world that you should never underestimate anyone? Iran has literally brought the modern world to its knees because of strategic geopolitical control of certain assets, and of course its lack of fear when it comes to dealing with the United States.
You see, probably United States and the team Trump underestimated the potentials and strength of Iran. You see, long back, about 15 years back, Robert Kaplan wrote a book, The Revenge of Geography, and he advised in his book, in case United States gets involved in Iran, it will be a very, very disastrous battle for United States, because the Iranian geography will take the revenge, not only the Iranian military and Iranian armed forces. So the Iranian geography is such. And the second thing is Iran, the strategic planning of Iran is somewhat different. Normally in defense services, we have integrated command and control structure. But here in Iranian situation things are different. Probably Iranian might have learned from Mahatma Gandhi, or maybe from its Persian past, that the decentralized model is somewhat better one. As Mahatma Gandhi used to say, if we power are concentrated at one place, in one city or capital, then anybody can invade from outside once that city is controlled. And if it is decentralized, no power from outside can control that society and that country. So the Iranians decentralized their military establishment. Every province, 31 province, every province is having different command and control structure. So from that point of view, if United States and Israel, they control, they invade the Tehran, they cannot invade Iran. So that is the situation, the strategy is different. Of course, there is a disproportionate situation in case of military strength, technology, and the power. But Iran is standing against the United States and Israel, share by its strategy and its confidence and courage. So the Iran, how Iran has brought United States to its knees is one thing is the Iran is far away from United States. The second thing is the commitment of the people. And the third is the decentralized strategy. Of course, those who are studying the war and the military science, it may be a subject for the study how a small power, the powerless country can bring the powerful country on its knees. So the situation of Iran is different. How US got involved and how Israel made US to get involved in the war. Israel was trying since long to bring United States in this whole situation to fight against Iran. Because Israel considers its problem as an existential problem surrounded by different kinds of countries, what we call the Islamic countries or the cultural context. So if we want to understand the nature of crisis, then the consequences and implications. First, the nature of crisis,
Fair enough, sir.
we must have a holistic approach, a multidimensional approach. It's the geo-economic interest of different countries within the region and outside. Then the political strategic practices of different countries, then international legality aspect.
Let me
and
also
the
bring in
fourth
Janal
point, what is
Sudhakarji
the
once again. Janal
civilizational one?
Sudhakarji, there is a likelihood of the same situation which has been prevailing since February the 28th of returning as well. India's diplomacy as well as India's stance has been absolutely clear. Do you think India should go down that path, continue to go down that path, or do you recommend any tweaks in terms of the way we've been dealing with the situation, especially after knowing that Pakistan says that it's been pivotal in striking the status quo at this point in time?
Vinit, now it is Vinit. If I've said Uday, I'm sorry again. Vinit, you made a very strong observation. I, for one, I somehow have a different view with regard to the way India has responded ever since the visit of our Honorable Prime Minister to Israel. Thereafter, the vessel Dena was torpedoed. Thereafter, the 28th of February bombing, and thereafter, a host of other activities. India's strategic silence is going to be highly detrimental, although I have been reading a lot. There are lots of counter arguments to justify that in situations like this, it is always better to maintain strategic silence because India is the president of BRICS. India cannot afford to annoy USA. India cannot talk anything which it reflects the sentiments and the emotions of 1.45 billion population. I have a different view. I personally feel that when is India going to talk? What is strategic autonomy we have been asserting so far in so many years, 77, 78 years for? What meaning does the strategic autonomy have? These are the questions which are coming to my mind. I have not been able to reconcile. I have also written some articles in foreign magazines and newspapers as also Indian platform conveying the similar kind of point of view. Therefore, to answer your question in specific, I personally feel if the time has come, India would do well to call it out, regardless of the consequences. The trade deal is yet to be signed. The G404 or 414 aerospace engines have still not arrived. Our Tejas scheme is behind schedule by 2 to 4 years. Our cryogenic engine was sanctioned because of the nuclear device having been tested. We have signed lots of agreements with the USA
All right,
but
all right.
how
So
often
we've run out of
USA
time, but I appreciate your thoughts, and I value your perspective as well, and for that matter, everybody who joined in. Apologies, sir, we don't have time. Thank you, everyone.